Welcome to Success in Doses. I'm your host, Saleh. This podcast is about the real journeys behind meaningful careers, the pivots, the risks, the moments of doubt, and the lessons that shaped who we become. Each episode, I sit down with people who are building impactful lives and careers, and we break down the experiences that help them get there. Because success rarely happens overnight, it happens in doses. Let's dive in on Becoming on Purpose. Welcome back to another absolutely amazing episode of Success in Doses. This podcast is all about the small and incremental steps we take every single day on our journeys to becoming our absolute best version. Today's topic is focused on personal leadership and development and how we are making simple decisions that absolutely are going to lead to big things for us. As I was thinking about who and people I wanted to talk to with respect to leadership development, and the personal investments we're all making in ourselves, I wanted to have this conversation with someone that I don't even think she realizes how much impact she's had on my own personal journey. Dr. Brandi Hamilton is the director of pharmacy at California Rehabilitation Institute in Los Angeles, California. Brandi began her pharmacy career over 20 years ago as a pharmacy technician. She received her doctorate of pharmacy degree from the University of Arkansas for Medical Sciences College of Pharmacy and her master's of science in pharmacy leadership and administration from the University of Houston College of Pharmacy. She completed her PGY1, PGY2 Health System Pharmacy Administration residency at CHI St. Luke's Health, Baylor St. Luke's Medical Center in Houston, Texas. Brandi has held and continues to hold numerous leadership roles within several pharmacy organizations. As a student pharmacist, she served as APhA ASP National President and APhA Trustee. As practitioner, she continues to be actively engaged in various roles within a variety of organizations. She most recently became, hold your claps, but don't hold them for real, on the Pharmacy Today editorial advisory board and the speaker of APhA House of Delegates, and now serves as president-elect of the American Pharmacists Association. Release your claps. You heard what I said. Brandi enjoys helping others reach their potential. I can personally attest to that. Working with colleagues to optimize their strengths and promoting their development as pharmacy professional. Welcome to the pod, Brandi.
Thank you, Sally. I'm so excited to be here. And as I was sharing with you earlier, this is my first podcast, so
Yes.
a teeny bit of nervousness. So if I say something crazy, you won't be surprised. But
Exactly. And I think from the first time anyone meets you, it's that realness that really I think is your superpower. And I'm not sure you even realize it because to you, it's just like, I'm doing me, but it's so inspiring to see. I wanted to start this recording and talking about the very first time I met you because it's so vivid in my mind.
okay,
It was in I think it's the 2014 MRM where APHA trialed the Region 1, Region 2 MRMs together in DC. I was a first year student pharmacist, had just been elected chapter president elect, and you led our chapter president elect workshop and introduced and talked to us all about what Be the Change theme was about. And I remember just sitting there and being in awe of you and came up and talked to you afterwards. And I was like, oh my God, she's like a real girl.
step aside, Pinocchio. The girls are coming in.
She's like such a real girl. Brandi, where does that come from? Like this comfortability that you carry with just being you.
Well, let me start by saying I remember that I didn't remember doing that particular workshop, but I do remember meeting you individually. And to this day, all these years later, I kind of find myself looking for you when I go to conferences and highlights is bumping into you. Because if I'm having a really exhausting day, there's something about you that just kind of builds people's energy up. So
Thank
for-
you.
as far as being me, and I love that you see it as a superpower, it sometimes can be a little polarizing. Sometimes people will remark, you have no filter. And I'm like, this is the filter.
I thought I was trying.
Yeah, this is the point 0.2 micron filter, okay. But no, how is it that I am the way I am? A lot of times I introduce people to my mother to explain why how I am the way I am. I was born to a pretty young mother who has this inherent strength about her, and she is who she is. So I kind of grew up as a copy paste of her. I mean, the apple did not fall far. This apple's landing so well, even the Russian judge was impressed. And so, I mean, just that just is what it is. I have tried to be other versions of who I think I should be, and it just never
Yeah.
works out very well. I'm old enough and wise enough, which is not to say I'm old at all, to realize that people can see it and it comes off as
Yeah.
ingenuous if you're not being
Mhm.
yourself. Now, I do have a theater degree, so
You do?
my first degree was in theater, so that explains a lot too.
Cool is that? Because I think a lot of people, when I tell them, I was like, "Oh, yeah, I minored in journalism." They're like, "Oh." And they're like, "Really?" But that kinda makes sense. It really does connect.
It does, and, like, I was a big art person in school. I mean, I loved the math and sciences, I loved all of it, and kinda one of my weak points, I would say, is I had a hard time deciding what I wanted to do because I love all the things,
Yeah.
but I was a big art person. I sang, I played saxophone, I was in the theater, I did all that stuff, and then kinda fell backwards into pharmacy. We maybe get into that later. So I'm a kind of all that to say, I'm not really great at answering this question because I don't see being who I am as a choice anymore. It
Yeah.
is. It's too
Yeah.
hard to not be. Now, do
Mhm.
I edit and show up as the more appropriate version of myself for certain situations? Sure. I mean,
Yeah.
the version of you see me, yeah, version of me you see, you know, on a conference stage versus
Yeah.
the hour. They're a little different, but they're variations on a theme. It's just different verses of the same song.
Okay, so real quick, if you're enjoying this conversation, go ahead and rate and review the podcast. It helps more people find the show and keeps the conversation going. Okay, so let's get back to the conversation.
I love that analogy, different versions of the same song. No, because I think that as young professionals, it's probably the steepest learning curve for us, that adjustment. And I think for a lot of people, they feel like there has to just be the one version and you either take it or leave it. And so as a person who mentors, I try to tell them, I'm like, everyone who is successful, we are constantly going in waves with the versions to fit the situation. Sometimes I'm slightly more assertive because
Sure.
in that moment, that's what's going to get the job done. And other times I will join somebody in their moment of need where all they need me to do in that moment is to just listen. But I would love for you to talk a little bit about some lessons you've learned along the way with navigating those things.
So, I think it's about I'm a big nerd for those personality tests and things like that, so if you're the
Yeah.
Lipton Strengths Finders,
Yeah, me too.
so I've done that a few times, and I think what has helped me is learning to lean into my strengths rather than seeing everything that's not my inherent strength as a weakness and trying to fix
Yeah.
it. I just try to lean into what is inherently true about
Yeah.
and I mean, I think it's a product of maturity too, learning when to lean back and listen. So my decision making is less about when to be the executive Brandy because she tends to show up first.
Mm.
It's when to turn that knob down and just listen. And now the Clifton Strengths Finders, it lays out 34 different strengths that you can have. And I've done the thing where you can get the full 34 and empathy was pretty low on the list. And it's not because I don't care. It's just because I don't immediately jump into somebody's shoes the way others might.
Uh,
And so I did some empathy training with a former employer. It was, a big group thing, and they wanted me to learn to teach it. I'm like, I'm the last person that should teach this. But I found out pretty quickly that I'm actually the best person to teach it because it doesn't necessarily come naturally. As healthcare professionals, especially, we tend to be the people who want to fix things, right?
yeah.
So if you come to me with a problem, I'm like, all right, let's work this out. Let's fix this thing. But that's not necessarily always what's needed. Learning to kind of read the room and read the situation
Mhm.
and be comfortable with not having the answer
Mhm.
and not necessarily always having a response. And something that I think this came from Brené Brown, if I'm remembering correctly, that I keep in my back pocket if someone tells me something that I don't know how to respond to that's really
Mhm.
difficult. I don't even know what to say right now, but I'm so glad you told me. And that's
Mm.
it. I keep that one in my back pocket.
Oh.
So yeah, turning executive, bossy Brandy on isn't particularly difficult. It's more a measure of when to let her kinda take a back seat, that I don't
Yeah.
always have a comment about everything, which, that can be a challenge because for better or worse, I always have a comeback.
She says, "For better or for worse."
For
That's
better or for
hilarious.
worse.
That's hilarious.
I got an A&M prov class, I always have a quippy little comeback. Just kinda paying attention and reading the room and trying to look at someone and kinda assessing what they need, and if I don't know, sometimes I'll
Mhm.
ask them like, "Alright, what do you need right now? Do you need an ear or do you need some
Mhm.
fixing?"
Yeah.
Go from there, like, I don't get too uncomfortable about asking what's needed. "What do you need from me right now? Because I got you. Either way, I got you."
Yeah, and I think people can sense that, Brandy. Like when people bring you a challenge, they can totally sense that if the energy is judgmental, condescending, or it's just like I've brought a problem that the person in front of me legit has no clue how to solve it, but they're telling me that they're willing in this moment to stand in it with me to help me figure it out. And that could be one of the most powerful things you could do for someone in a moment when they're feeling like they're kinda spiraling, right?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
how do you know when to turn it on?
Oh my gosh, I think, like, I am hyper vigilant
Mm.
of when to turn it on and turn it off because so a few things are going on in my mind when I'm either stepping into a big meeting or gonna do a presentation. I'm very insecure about my communication skills because English is not my first language. So I'm always thinking that
Listen, I hate to interrupt, but I'm going to right now because you speak English better than a lot of native speakers, so carry on.
Thank you. That's a big compliment. But I'm always thinking that, like, are the thoughts going through my mind, will they come across exactly as I intend them to? So it's investing in a lot of resources for myself and that development to learn how to communicate so that I am received exactly the way I want to. I worry about that piece so much. And I think like my code switching and adjustments and all of that. That's where it is. And I'm naturally just a loud girl. I laugh with my mouth wide open. So I'm always just like, okay, even if it's funny, control how hard you cackle.
Ugh, that's hard.
It's really hard, right? I want to talk a little bit about you kind of like at what point with a theater degree is healthcare or pharmacy even coming on the horizons and you're thinking, yeah, I think this is going to be the move.
So, like I alluded to earlier, I fell backwards into pharmacy, and I'll say this proudly to anybody who asks.
Yeah.
I was in college. I was working in the menswear department at Sears, which no one's doing on purpose, and I was giving private saxophone lessons a little bit on the side too, just to make. I was in church one Sunday, and guy pops his head into our little classroom door and says, "Hey, I'm looking for a pharmacy technician. Anybody want to be a pharmacy technician?" Like, don't know what that is, but yes, like get me out of these knockoff, polo tops. So yeah, I was 19. I went to work at this pharmacy, like in Arkansas. This is in Arkansas, and in Arkansas, you just have to have a high school diploma, pass a background check, and a consistent pulse, and they'll train you on the job. So, I started working for this guy and, like, the work came pretty easy, I enjoyed
Yeah.
it, I felt like I was actually doing something worthwhile.
Yeah.
Uh, maybe one of the first things I had done that I felt like I was doing something truly worthwhile. I moved to a different town within Arkansas, still had a technician license. I got a job in that town in a pharmacy, and I ended up working for that guy for what was it? I think 11 years. And somewhere along the
What?
way, I was like, I was, I did really well in school. I
Mhm,
I feel like there's
mhm,
more for me
mhm.
than what I'm doing because I was just kind of clocking in and clocking out, and I'd kind
Yeah.
of into a rut. I was like, you know what? Let's do this. Let's do this.
What
So I went back
the
to school. I was like, all right, like because they don't give you a whole lot of math and science in a theater degree, so I had to go take all the math and science, which is fine. I do fine with that. So yeah, and so I did, and I started pharmacy school, and I jumped in with both feet, and here we are. So I've fell completely backwards into it, and I think I'm a little luckier than I deserve to have found a place that really works for me, and just a series of pieces of good luck and kind fortune that have followed to land me where I am.
Yeah, but also you're like really, really hardworking and super awesome. So let's not dial it down to like luck has been in my favor a whole lot, but there's so much hard work in what you're describing because my journey was somewhat similar too. I was a technician for 6 years before my manager was like, "Girl, you're killing it at this. I don't want to lose you. The selfish move is stay here, but you should really think about." Because some of the pharmacy students I had started working with had like graduated pharmacy school, done residencies, and came back as pharmacists.
Mm.
And I was like, oh, that's how long 6 years is. She's like, yeah, like you could have also done it in the same amount of time. So I decided to go back all the same, but there's a lot of like grit and self, like taking stock and inventory of like, am I doing the right thing? And a lot of uncertainty along that journey. So you're in pharmacy school. How does Brandy go from, I'm going to go back to school too, I'm going to give this profession a whole lot of me? What is going on?
Pretty sadistic of me, honestly. No, I'll tell you what happened. This is a little bit personal, but it's not a secret. So when I was doing my prereqs for pharmacy school, during that first year, I went through a divorce.
You
And I
did.
did. And so I was taking my finals that first semester while moving out of my house and setting up home in a new place. While doing organic chem final while moving and going through a divorce. So love that for me. But I passed organic chem. Shout out to my professor at University of Central Arkansas because I went to his office. I needed a recommendation letter for pharmacy school, and I was in his organic 2 class by that point. It was like the beginning of the next year, and
Yeah.
I was telling him, I was like, I need a recommendation. I know I only got a C in organic chem 1. I said, here's the story. This is he's like, stop, 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 stop. He's like, you passed organic chem while going through a divorce and moved.
Course.
Like, yeah. And he's like, I'll write you the best letter.
Exactly.
So anyone who's been through a divorce, particularly any woman who's been through a divorce, will nod her head at what I'm about to say. When you come out the other side of that, you have this renewed vigor and this kind of thirst for life. You know, and I was
Yeah.
always in leadership type roles in high school. I mean, I was a drum
Mhm.
major in the band. I was band council president, all that type of stuff. And I said, you know what? I'm back. I am flying solo. So I'm going to throw everything into this. So I get to the University of Arkansas for medical sciences, which has always been a big APHA school. And
Yeah.
it had like the little booth set up for all the different organizations, and some P2s were like, everyone joins APHA ASP. Like, all right, take my money, I guess. So I joined a few different things, including that. And I said, if I'm doing this, I'm doing this. And so I ran for the P1 liaison, lost that. I've lost as many elections as I've won. Lost that, and then went to MRM that year as a P1, which was conveniently in Little Rock, so it was just right down the road.
Ah.
Went to and I saw the policy process in
Yes.
and said, "You know what?
It's
Yeah,
it's so cool. It's life-changing. And I try to tell people and explain it to people. I'm cutting you off, but it's because that's what did it for me. Watching the House of Delegates and I'm like, "Whoa, what is this and how do I get in all up in it?"
yeah,
Sorry, continue.
no." You know what? It's again another sidebar. Like so many of us are when you ask us, "Our what about tell me your story." It starts with an MRM. So many of us, so many of
Mhm.
us. But yeah, I saw the policy process. I said, okay, I want to be policy VP. Made that happen. Went to the annual meeting and saw Veronica Vernon running the Student House of Delegates.
Yes.
And I said, that right there,
Ah.
that, doing that. So, I had it all planned out. And,
Yeah.
what happens when you have things all planned out, there's a wrench to
Mhm.
come flying.
Uh-huh.
So I ran for regional delegate and lost. And so I was like, well, there goes that. Because the plan was I'll be regional delegate and then I'll be student speaker of the house, right? So there went that. And I was talking to David Steeb, who at the time was the president-elect of APHA ASP. And he was telling me about, elections that he's lost. And so I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm running for president-elect. And And yeah, I think to this day, it's still the most candidates they've ever had run for that position after David ran unopposed the year before. And I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
thanks for that. But that was it. Like it all started with a decision.
Yeah.
I felt reborn after
Yeah.
after my divorce. And sidebar to say it was about the most amicable a divorce could possibly be, but still, I mean,
Mhm.
it's a big change in your existence.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I wasn't going to I wasn't gonna waste that second opportunity. So that's what happened, and I had some wins, I had some losses, and every loss was setting me up for something better.
Yeah.
And so, that itch to run the House of Delegates was
Yeah.
still there. And so
Yeah.
finally getting to scratch it for 2 years just recently, I was like, and, I love being president-elect. I'm so excited. It's already so fun.
Yeah.
And here in 3 years, I'll probably be singing a different tune, but right now, like, as
Today.
of, like, the day before they swore me in as president-elect, if they would let me be speaker forever, I would do it. Like, it was
Oh,
fun. It was such hard work. It
yeah.
really was. It took a lot of time, but,
Yeah.
I could not get enough of it. It was so fun, especially, being up in the house because you never know what's gonna happen,
You don't.
and that's, like, my sweet spot. I love that.
Okay, so real quick, if you're enjoying this conversation, go ahead and rate and review the podcast. It helps more people find the show and keeps the conversation going. Okay, so let's get back to the conversation.
First of all, before we even go into the courage to say, I'm going to do more, let's talk about authenticity's role in all of this. You're talking about losing elections, where to me, I've only seen you in the wins, right? Like my pharmacy career is too young. I don't remember you running at MRM. But like as you lost those elections, did you feel like you needed to recalibrate? Like what did that feel like essentially?
Well, in the moment, it was pretty awful, and
Yeah.
I every time I've lost something, I take the time to lick my wounds for a minute
Yeah.
and do a little, a little bit of self-deprecation for a little while, and and then thankfully, I'm very stubborn. I'm profoundly
Yeah.
stubborn and bullheaded,
Yeah.
and so when I finish licking my wounds, pour myself a glass of wine and like, "All right, on to the next thing."
Yes, on to the next thing. And it's so important. And I think like the number of people, as I've been talking to more people, the number of women that I've talked to that have talked about divorce while in pharmacy school, I'm like, how many others are there that are showing up for their patients and showing up for the profession and showing up to class every day and their lives? They're dealing with something so, so, so big. What words of encouragement do you have for anyone listening to this and they're dealing with a major life issue right now? It could be divorce, addiction. I'm learning is also big for young professionals right now.
Sure. I don't feel that I'm qualified to give advice on someone going through a substance use disorder. I mean, I go to the
Mhm.
Utah school every year, or I'm
Yeah.
getting to where I'm going every year. This will be year 5.
Wow.
Still don't feel qualified to give somebody advice other than to seek the expertise of people who are qualified. But
Absolutely.
outside of that, I think we're all always going through something. There's never a time when work is the only thing happening. When things are bad, I mean, I've been told fake it till you make it, and
Mm.
there's a bit of truth to that. And when
Absolutely.
and when I have to pull that string in my internal thought process is all right, theater degree activate. We're going to act like we got it together until we do. And it does work. But I would
Yeah.
say too, realize that, anything that's going on in your life is something that's happening around you or to you. It isn't you.
Yeah.
So it's like I just kind of have to dig in. And again, a lot of this comes with age and experience
Mm.
too. But just kind of digging into who I know I am
Yeah.
and tapping into that stubborn streak that isn't going to let me wallow in it for too long.
Yeah.
That helps me. Some people, certainly talking to a friend and venting and just completely shedding the professional shell and just saying all the things to a
Yeah.
trusted friend really
Yeah.
helps. That helps me
Mhm.
kinda get past it, quicker. I get the venom out and
Yeah.
done with it. So, I mean, it's gonna differ for every person. Some people are
Mhm.
very introverted and
Mm.
introspective, and some piece of that might resonate more than others, but
Yeah.
just, just remember, like, there's a lot of value to fake it till you make it, and,
Mhm.
remember that this isn't you, it's just a thing that's happening.
That's happening, yeah, and that's so true too. I think, like, as I'm listening to you and, like, telling me you've lost elections, you've been through a divorce, and where you are right now, someone outside is looking at you and saying, "Yeah, totally killing it. She's never not stepped up for anything and not gotten it." That's why I think the importance, right? Like, it's so important.
Oh,
We can have a whole conversation about all the other ways that it hasn't worked out.
yeah. Let me tell you everything that went wrong.
Yeah, but I think it's one of the things I find really powerful about mentorship, and I always tell people, yeah, be mentored by people that have what you hope your trajectory look like. How has mentorship played a role in this entire journey for you?
And it's left an indelible mark and continues to, on both the giving and receiving end. So we've all heard the saying, "Never meet your heroes," and I've had a couple of those. I've had a
Yeah. Ah,
but they are fewer than
then
than the good experiences. So yeah, I've stumbled into some really great mentorship,
uh,
and I think I find it best when I do kind of stumble into it than when I kind of seek somebody out. It's like, please mentor.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
and that works for some people, and it doesn't work for me, and that's okay. So, some accidental mentors, my boy Alex Markey, like,
Yeah.
like, all the time, like, I think, how are we the grown-ups? Who let this happen? But, I'm his wife was my residency director, and I got my residency really because of that connection. She didn't know me,
Wow.
but he did, and someday you'll have to ask him to tell you the story of how that all went down because it was pretty comical in the Barkey house that day.
My
Understand?
gosh.
But no, so I met Divya because of Alex, and you know,
Alex.
if you I don't know if you know Divya Varkey, but think
No, I've
that
not had the pleasure.
that woman, you mentioned, try to be mentored by somebody who kinda is what you wanna be.
Yeah.
Divya is that person because she leads with kindness and compassion, and if you have a success, she's almost more excited about it than you are. She is 10 toes down for you no matter what's going on, and, like, she's had to, terminate people from employment, and they leave, thanking her and giving her a hug. And so
Oh,
like
there's a whole master class to be taught on that.
right. So I'm like, "How did that happen?" Well, I won't say when or or what job or who or any of that, but I've had to let a couple people go throughout the years, and I had one of those situations where the person thanked me on the way out, and I was just
What do you do in that moment, Brandy?
I called Divya. I'm like, "Divya, guess what just happened?" And it's like, I mean, there are so many times, and I say it in jest, but I'm actually serious. Like, what would Divya do?
Yeah.
She strikes that balance of kindness and compassion,
Yeah.
strength.
Yeah.
And she can find the humor in situations, and that's the kind of thing that resonates with me. And, there's the lessons learned from her are always in the back of my mind. And this isn't something that she does, this is who she is. I was gonna say, as far as being a mentor, I don't know that I've ever thought of myself in that terminology. Like, I get it. Like, I understand.
What?
I have never said, "Well, oh, I mentor this person." No.
Yeah.
Sure, do I? I'm sure, yeah. But for mentoring others and supporting others, I think I'm more comfortable
Yeah.
supporting others and,
Yeah.
you know, just loving on other people and being excited for them. Uh, I mean, somewhat selfishly, it fills my cup too. Like you
Aw.
can't give to other people in a vacuum. And something invariably comes back, and
Mhm.
it's just that's just is what it is. And so,
Yeah.
any opportunity I have to help someone else find their aha moment or kind of
Yeah.
slot into their most authentic them,
Mhm.
ooh, that's good stuff. That's really
It's
good stuff.
it's so powerful. How people make me feel is so important because I think that especially if I feel like you've been so consistent, like every single time I meet you, it doesn't matter if I see you at 10 o'clock and passing on escalator at a conference where I know she has had a day. She's probably been up since 5 a.m. The energy is always the same. And I think that that speaks a lot of truth to power that this is who you are. To what you're describing about Divya, it's who you are. It's not just something like you're like, okay, let's turn that on, let's turn that off. And I just want you to know that that means so much to me. And I appreciate you showing up this morning, like right now, and saying, this is the first time I'm doing this, but I want to support you. It means the world to me. And I want you to talk to us a little bit about what can we expect about the upcoming year as you're preparing and how can we support you? Because I want us to turn up and show out for you. Like, you are one of us. Like, what do we need to do to support you as we continue to face so many uncertainties in the profession at the moment?
Thank you for saying that. Yeah, I I'm a little flummoxed.
Ah!
I struggle to accept praise sometimes. So but thank you. I am
Of
grateful. And
course.
coming into this year, I mean, you can expect me to continue to be me. I'm always going to be who I am. As far as showing up, okay, now a theater girl here. I love an engaged audience.
Yeah.
So, in less than a year I'm going to be giving an inaugural address. Oh gosh. So people, turn up and turn out.
Mm,
Tom Mennigan says this all the time.
mhm.
Keep showing up.
Keep
Uh,
showing up. Yeah.
yeah, and that's part of why I kept running for elections even after I was told no a handful of times. Tom Mennigan said, "Keep showing up." So keep showing up. Come
Mhm.
come to the annual meetings. Those meetings are exponentially better by every additional person who shows up,
Yeah.
and just be engaged in the process. Obviously, as a leader, I'm always trying to move the needle and make things better, but
Mhm.
there's not one piece of it that I can do on my own. So it takes all of us. For me, it is association membership and participation because
Mhm.
that's more voices. I don't have to do it by myself. I've got this
A
whole
hundred
this
percent.
whole group of people that are in to get in it together to do the same types of things. And this is a tough one, but we as professionals have, unfortunately, we have to be a little patient because progress is slow,
Very.
and I am not a patient person. I would say that the vast majority of my personal flaws can be boiled down to a lack of patience.
Your patience.
So
Yeah.
it's a struggle. Like, we've been trying to, achieve provider status for pharmacists with all these pharmacy associations since, I mean, it's been over a decade.
It has.
And
Yeah.
we keep pushing and we keep pushing, and it's so frustrating. So I think that persistence and a smattering of patience is going to be
Mhm.
key. As far as doing anything for me individually, I mean, everyone just keep being you. Keep giving me a hug when you see me. If we don't usually do that, maybe ask first. I don't know.
You mean don't just pull up and go
Nope,
wham?
I'm usually down for a hug. Uh,
Yeah.
let's grab a little bevy bev, uh,
Yeah.
have a chat. Just show up, and when it's time to be loud, be loud.
Yeah.
Time to have a laugh, have a laugh. I'll be me, you be you. And
Yeah.
we'll
I
be good.
I love it. If you were to define success for yourself with all of what you are preparing for on the horizons, what does that look like for you?
For me, professionally, it looks like leaving things, whether it's the association or my workplace, each year, maybe leaving it a little better than I found it, being
Yeah.
part of improvement. I don't have any notions that I'm going to fix all the things for all the
Mhm.
people. The ego's not quite that out of whack. But success for me in that realm looks like I'm helped move things along to make things better. And equal to that, success for me looks like not sacrificing my whole personal existence to make it happen.
Yeah.
It's I still need my peace at home. I still need to travel, and I need to travel.
You're like emphasize, you're like, I just want to be
It's
clear.
it's a need. Like, I've already got 3 trips planned, one with the mom, one with a couple of friends, one with another
Yeah.
friend,
Yeah.
and, that's something that helps me. Just sidebar, always have a
Yeah.
trip plan
Yeah.
that
It's
kinda
it gives you it
keeps me
gives you
going.
something to look forward to. You're like, "It's all chaos right now, but 36 more days until wherever."
Yeah. So success for me looks like really getting good things done and making things better than I found them, at least a little bit.
Yeah.
Uh, but also recognizing that that's work and that I still have to take care of me too. So
Yeah.
that means going to my trainer, which I hate, but it's starting to show a difference. So I keep going.
Shout out to the trainer.
I hate it every time, but I'm always so glad I went.
My gosh. And that in an episode where we are talking about authenticity and showing up and truth in how we express ourselves and all the ways we give, but also staying true to who we are. It's really powerful to hear you say that, and that, yes, there is the professional success, but also that has to coexist side by side with what you see for your personal success as well together. I ask every guest this. You got to give us a piece of advice for the person that is unsure right now and contemplating stepping up to lead. What advice would you have for them about holding on to the truest version of who they are as they continue to seek opportunities to ascend?
Okay. That sounds a little canned and trite, but be who you are. Sometimes and think of when sometimes the answer is going to be no. But try
Yeah.
not to give the answer as no. Try to think of it as not now or not yet.
Mhm.
I took 2 runs at speaker.
I didn't know that either.
I
I am
did.
learning a lot today.
Right. So no, I threw my hat in the ring and then found out Missy Duke had thrown hers in too. And I'm like, well, I was like, I've been trying to get you to run since how long? And so when I didn't get slated and, Tom Minigan called, like, here's how we'll get you nominated from the floor. I'm like, no, are you kidding me? I'll see you in 2 years and try again. And like, I want Missy to take her run at it. I'm not going up against Missy. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, that's
Uh,
too funny.
doing that. So, but take no's as not yet. Remember that whatever position you're running for, whatever organization or whatever it is, whatever vehicle by which you're approaching leadership, they need you.
Mm,
They need somebody else, they'll be looking for somebody else. And if they need somebody else, they'll pick somebody else and then you find your thing because this wasn't the one, at least not for that moment.
yeah.
But it's just too exhausting to try to be something you're not. So bring all the things that make you gloriously you and and be the best version of that, of course, but and be stubborn. Be just refuse to give up. Just stay in their face until they say finally, okay, fine, we'll let you do the thing. Just get in here and do it.
Okay, so real quick, if you're enjoying this conversation, go ahead and rate and review the podcast. It helps more people find the show and keeps the conversation going. Okay, so let's get back to the conversation.
I love it because I know you're saying it jokingly. If you've
Oh, I
ever
mean it though.
tried, and you mean it, if you've ever tried your hand at anything, what you're saying right now is real. Like it's a life hack for real. It's okay. So not right now. No problem. I'll see you in a bit. I'm not giving up on it. But also there's something you said I think is incredibly powerful, which is they need you. I think we tend to bond with our goals in a way of I must have it. I must, where we're not thinking that stepping up for leadership. I always tell people like get clear about what you are identifying as an opportunity for you to give it, because then you start having conversations with people and getting support in a lot easier way than thinking like, I want it. I want it. But why do you want it? What is the thing you feel like you can contribute at this level, at this scale, that can help with the vision and mission setting in a way you won't believe? I cannot thank you enough. I feel like there has to be something else in the English language. I just don't know it to express my sincere gratitude to you for doing this, but also I don't know why I'm tearing up, but to for all of what I think you represent for so many young professionals that are trying to figure it out, Brandy. And I think when I see you doing it, just it demystifies it a little bit for me and it kind of makes it a little bit more obtainable because I know you and you've given me the opportunity to know you and know that you really and truly are just in it because you truly believe you have something to offer and want to contribute to this profession we all love so much. So thank you. Leadership can be super thankless, but thank you for everything you're doing and everything you're going to do. And thank you so much for doing this today.
No, thank you for asking me. I'm a little overwhelmed. I'm gonna have to take a moment to absorb this. Yeah, I struggle with praise a little bit sometimes, and
Yeah, you
but
keep saying that.
I'm grateful, and I'm so excited for you doing this podcast. I hope it just blows up. It's so
Uh,
cool. And I know you still work with, people trying to go into residency too, uh, and I think that's so important because that is a scary process. I say this to people going into residency, but it's really true for any of us in our work lives. There are no martyrdom awards, and
yeah,
this is how I kinda keeping my work life balanced. Get your work done, go
yeah,
home.
yeah.
I did residency and I've attended residency graduations, and not one time did they give out an award for the person who stayed the latest every night. They didn't do it.
This is such a life lesson. It's true. It exists nowhere.
Yeah. It's like if you can't get your work done in a reasonable number of hours, either you're trying to impress somebody by how late you're staying there, or they have made you feel like you have to,
Yeah.
or you just need to work on it your efficiency. So, I
Yes.
mean, there's that comes with time. Yeah, the residency, that work, any work, it takes longer at the beginning when you're kinda getting your feet under you.
Yeah.
But, yeah, if you're having to stay until 10, 12 o'clock at night every night, either someone is making you feel like you have to and there isn't actually that much work to do, or we've
Yeah.
got some work to do on getting our efficiency up. But, yeah,
Efficiency up.
no martyrdom awards, remember that.
No word, no word. I feel like we should have T-shirts for that. I'm so serious. It's very true.
Badge ribbons?
Badge ribbons, maybe. I swear, if I pull up at meeting and I see the ribbons, I'm gonna lose my mind. I'm gonna be like, I should have known better than to joke about that with Brandi because she will actually do it.
But
No,
when I did residency, I was older than the average resident, so,
me
uh,
too.
I had a little bit of a jading going on. But, like, these young 20-something-year-olds they're still scared, and
Yeah.
they haven't been through divorce and all the things necessarily, and they haven't learned to kinda put their foot down. One of my best friends in residency, it was so funny, like, he did the PGY1, and he ended up kinda dipping out on PGY2 because it wasn't his
Yeah.
gig, but he was told at one point, like, "You need to be staying till 9, 10, 12 o'clock at night," and he goes, "I go home at 5." And if that's not the answer, I don't know what is.
Really don't know what is, and it really is a fear tactic, and they bond with it, and the idea that even as a young learner and young professional, boundary setting is something that you can do respectfully,
Yeah.
professionally, especially if the work is getting done. It is inconceivable to them. Like, they'll listen to you and be respectful, but then they'll be like, "Are you insane? Like, I'm gonna get fired from residency if I do that," right? But so just it's a major life advice because the residency habits follow you into work. I am
They do.
proof of that.
Yeah, they do.
I am proof of that. Yes. Thank you for the life. You give us a lot of life hacks today. We
Oh,
really appreciate it. Thank you, Brandy.
thank you, Sally. I'm so excited about this for you. I can't wait to see how far this goes and
Mm.
how big it takes off.
From your lips. I'm having a lot of fun at the
Good.
moment, and it's given me like a creative outlet.
I'm so honored to be a guest. I'm so excited.
Okay, so now that it's just us, I think this episode today was fun for me for several reasons. I keep telling you guys that I bring guests that I respect and admire, whose voice, posture, and position in their field is one that I deeply admire and respect. Brandy is somebody that has had an impact on the way I see myself as a young professional and an emerging leader in pharmacy. But I just love how absolutely down to earth she is and how authentic she is. This episode's focus was about how we keep that authenticity about us as we continue to ascend and pursue our goals and accomplish all the amazing things we set out to do. I learned a lot about Brandy today that I didn't know before. The fact that she tried for several other elections before and positions locally, nationally, and wasn't elected, but a simple advice that she was given by another leader she respects is something she's held on to, which is to just keep showing up. And so, for key takeaways for this episode, it's really just I hope you heard from her and learned from her that It isn't always going to be pretty. It isn't always going to go as planned, but we should keep showing up. And more importantly, it is going to be easier for us to be ourselves anytime, any day, no matter what our goals and aspirations are, than to manufacture a version of ourselves and show up. Another nugget that she put in here today that I'm definitely going to hold on to and take with me moving forward is about our decision to step up and serve. It needs to really be based on who we are and what we really do see as places and ways in which we can contribute to advancing, whether that's our department, our organizations, or even in our communities. I'm really happy that I got this chance to bring you a person and a voice that I respect and admire, for you to be introduced to Brandi if you don't know who she is. But I appreciate you taking the time to start your beautiful Monday morning with us, as always. Like, share, and subscribe to the podcast. Share this episode with someone you think could use some positive message today as they're going through transition, or maybe they're thinking about stepping up to lead, and there's something in this episode you think could be helpful for them. These are simple acts that really goes a long way in helping us grow this platform and grow this podcast. I'm grateful for your presence here. I'm grateful for the listen, and I'm grateful for the support. Remember that success never happens in leaps and bounds. It is all about these small incremental steps that we are taking with intentionality and purpose that results in big, 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 big results for us. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll bring you another brand new episode again next Monday. Okay, bye.
If this episode gave you something to think about, something to hold on to, or even something to act on, I want to ask you for one more thing. Take a moment to rate and review the podcast. It feels really small, but it's actually one of the biggest ways you can support this show. It helps more people find these conversations and become part of this community we're building right here on Success in Doses.